Noreen and welcome to my kitchen, and we are going to make some Italian breadstick bread for dinner tonight. We're going to have it with our dinner. It's cold, miserable, wet, nasty, rainy, and I love it.
And we spent all day in it.
We did spend all day in it. I promised Micah that when the income tax return came that we would buy her a queen size bed. She's been begging me for 2 years, can I please have a queen size bed? She had bunk beds previously.
Yeah, I had to mess with her.
And 2 years ago when I bought a new mattress, when Rick and I bought a new mattress, we gave that one to Molly, and Mike has been asking for one ever since. So today we surprised her, and we went and we bought a mattress, and we disassembled everything. We totally redid her room, and when she came home from school and opened her door, she literally screamed with joy. So it was totally worth it. But in the meantime, we were in and out. You know, you never want to buy a new mattress in the pouring rain. It's just not fun.
So we run back and forth to the store getting stuff in the rain. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so I'm going to make some pasta fagioli for dinner, and I thought this breadstick bread would be perfect to go with it. It really goes together very quickly, and yeah, it takes about an hour to rise, but if you have a little bit of time before you make your soup for dinner, then you can throw this together in no time. It makes 2 very nice sized loaves, and this is how we're going to do it. What I have in my bowl here is 4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we are going to add 1/4 cup of potato flakes.
So, no blue beads in your flour? No
blue beads in my flour. 1/4 cup of non-fat instant milk, and that's just dry milk powder. You know. And then here we have a tablespoon of sugar, tablespoon of yeast, tablespoon of salt, and we're going to put 2.5 cups of warm water. I'm sorry, I am incorrect. I'm going to put 1 1/3 cups or so. Water. And we're going to put a little more than 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're going to put it on the machine. And you know, I hear everybody is naming their KitchenAids. Well, you know, Mrs. Volpe, she named hers Cowgirl, and I saw Paula said she was going to call her Scarlet. Well, you know that I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, so I'm going to call mine the Last Kicker. So, I'm sorry if that offends you, but this is we're going to turn her on, and we're going to go ahead and mix this dough. Get it going on a 2, get everything blended, and then we're going to knead it for 7 minutes. All right, our dough has just finished kneading. Let's bring it over here really quick. We'll take that dough hook out of it. Oopsie. Scrape it out here. It's a really nice dough. I'm just going to set it on my counter really for just a moment. I'm going to get out my misto. I'm going to give the bowl a spray. The misto is like Hans and Franz. I have to pump it up. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and make this dough into a little round, smooth it out a bit, turn it into itself at the bottom. Down there. Pump it, spray it. And this is just, this is sunflower oil in here. So I'm going to put a bonnet on it. And I'm going to just set it on the back of my stove until it's doubled. And then when it's doubled, we'll come back and I'll show you how it is going to be shaped. All right, our dough has risen and it's been deflated a bit, and I've divided it into 2 pieces. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to form these into a couple of loaves. And what I like to do is get this down on the board. Don't worry about these little snaggly pieces that look kind of weird, because we're going to even it out the best that we can. And then we're going to just roll okay? And this dough is very, very forgiving. It's nice and soft. And we're going to pinch the bottom and pinch the seam up on the bottom. Kind of press it so you're evening things out a bit. And then kind of pinch it at the ends. Round it out. And don't make it any longer than your baking sheet is. That's pretty simple. You can see how nice and malleable this dough is. It really is beautiful.
Again, all the practice of Play-Doh.
That's right. And set it down on your baking sheet that you've lined with parchment. Give it one more shape right there. We'll get this one down on the board. Whoopsie. The bottle of vitamins taking a dive. Pinch up that seam really well. And then just keep giving it a gentle roll and stretching it at the same time. You don't have to be that gentle with this dough. It's going to be just fine. If you don't like the way it looks, flatten it out. Roll it up again. Until it looks the way you want it to look. Make sure you pinch the seam together really well. Now, we're going to make one of these loaves seasoned like a breadstick, and then you're going to make the other one plain. That's just my preference, because then tomorrow we can make toast for breakfast with the plain one, or you can just enjoy some of the plain one. You know, everybody in your family might be a little bit different, so. Give this a good shape. Straighten it out a bit on the board. And we're going to let this rise for about 20 minutes. But before we do that, this is the simple part, okay? Oopsie, there was my lid. We'll wash that in a minute. What I like to do is right in my hand, just this one we're going to brush with some olive oil. Now I'm going to wash my hand. And this is just a light olive oil. This is not extra virgin. What I have in here, I have a teaspoon each salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning, and a half a teaspoon of ground rosemary. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and give that a little bit of a zhuzh. My finger is wet, so it's going to be sticking to it, but that's okay. If you have a favorite pizza seasoning, go ahead and use that. If you don't want to have your Italian bread loaf taste like a breadstick, leave it off. It doesn't matter. That's all I'm going to do. Right there. You can put that in a little container and save it for another time. It'll all be great. Okay, I'm just going to let this sit. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap. I'm going to let it rise on the stove where it's warm for about 20 minutes, and then I'll be back right before I put it in the oven. Okay, we let our bread rest for about 15, 20, 25 minutes, however long you have, but don't let it rest for longer than 30 or 35 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to end up with deflated bread and big holes in it. So we have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. We're just going to pop it in there for about 25 minutes. When it's done, I'll bring it back. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, our bread is done and ready to come out of the oven. Look at that. Now, normally you would let this cool for at least a few minutes before having supper, but I'm going to go ahead and slice into this for you so you can see what it looks like. It's really beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yummy. Okay, that's finished. Let me see. The texture of the bread is absolutely gorgeous. I'm telling you, you make this bread, you will not be disappointed. I promise. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Perfect to have when you're going to have some pasta fagioli or spaghetti or just about anything for your dinner. Okay. Really easy, really delicious. Italian style breadstick bread. I'm calling it that because I put the same seasonings on this loaf as I do in my regular breadsticks. But sometimes it's just nice to have a slice of bread instead of a breadstick. So I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.